Hey, what's up guys? Pigmask here, looking to cast a game between Na'Vi and Empire. This is in the Gosuleague in November. I do not know exactly the day this took place. I want to say November the 12th. I think I saw that date, but I could be so far wrong. I could be nowhere even close. So, I mean, maybe fix that. Maybe if it keeps talking, I'll fix that. Anyway, unimportant, because we're here in the Gosuleague with, yeah, Na'Vi and Empire. This is the first match between these two in this season of the Gosuleague. And, yeah, I have not casted a game between Na'Vi before. I've casted a couple of games between Empire and Next. I casted a couple games between. I'm gonna close this while I'm talking here because he's talking about Walking Dead, which is a fantastic game, by the way. I would say give it a whirl if you have not. Walking Dead, season 1 of The Walking Dead, fantastic video game. But this is not The Walking Dead, this is Dota. So we're looking here, we see a Na'Vi ban of Sven and an Empire ban of Bounty Hunter. This took place before the other games I casted, I believe, but we saw some great Sven play. We've seen a lot of great Sven play, actually, throughout the recent tournaments. A lot of games, a lot of people, a lot of pros looking at Sven now a little more legitimately. Sven is a pretty strong hero. I think he was one of the more underrated heroes before, but his buffs have made him kind of step out into his own and be picked up now often as a carry. He makes a good roaming kind of support hero, kind of ganker hero, but he also can play a very strong carry. He's got that built-in Battle Fury and a huge damage buff with his ultimate, and a great stun, of course. That stun is what you often see, the stun in the Warcry for chasing and ganking and surprising people and wreaking havoc on everyone in front of him. And Empire's not going to be able to use him in conjunction with Darkseer because of the ban, but they will be able to use Darkseer in conjunction with someone else because he is Empire's first pick. Darkseer, often a banned hero, one of the more banned heroes, I would say, because he's had relevance for a little while now, and he still has relevance post 6.75, where a lot of heroes that you'd previously see banned, such as Lycanthrope, have kind of fallen out of fashion. A guy like Lycan got a big nerf, as did Morphling, and those are guys that you were seeing in the International in the case of Morphling, before and around, and during the International in the case of Lycanthrope, but you're not seeing either of them too much. But you are seeing Jakiro now. Jakiro's a very strong hero now thanks to his Icy Path buff, and we also have a Chen pickup on Na'Vi. You have to believe Puppy is going to be playing that Chen, so we'll see what Empire picks in accordance. So they know now they're going to be going against a jungling hero, though that is kind of a good bet against Na'Vi. So Na'Vi is going to have a 2 solo heroes going, one in mid and one the long lane, and then a dual lane, and then a jungling Chen, kind of supporting that long lane. And before we, after, I guess before, in relation to the order I have been casting things, I was about to say what we've been seeing from Empire, and Chaos Knight Wisp was something they used incredibly effectively against Next. Chaos Knight and Wisp, an amazing combo, great at ganking, great at tri-laning with another hero, and they are just a force to be reckoned with. Chaos Knight able to Reality Rift while tethered to Wisp and guarantee that stun, and then he throws down his Chaos Bolt, stunning the target even longer in the right situation, which is a situation that crops up frequently. Yeah, I want to make that clear. The right situation is more like most situations that will result in a kill of a hero. So Chaos Knight scales incredibly well to the late game, given his critical hit and his high damage, high HP illusions that his ultimates give. So Chaos Knight, a fantastic pick, and he's someone who has to be stopped kind of early, but he's hard to stop early when he's got a partner like Wisp. So we'll see what Na'Vi does to kind of dilute his presence in the game, but definitely one of the top tier combos is Wisp Chaos Knight. So Navi still needs a probably a good mid hero. Jakiro typically played in a dual or tri-lane, though he can mid. He can be an effective mid. He does have good escapability with his Icy Path. He does good damage over time with his Dual Breath and his Liquid Fire. And we see a Night Stalker. Night Stalker as well can be an effective mid hero, though because they are going to have the Chen in the jungle, you will probably see Night Stalker off on the long lane. And he is a hero who needs experience more than anything, though he's somewhat farm dependent. He's mostly experience dependent early game. Because if he can get to level 6 before the first night, he can extend that first night to be very long. Though you do not often see professional players picking up levels of his ultimate early. You usually see levels of Hunter and the Knight, his passive, in favor of his ultimate. Either can be effective. His ultimate does extend the Knight when used at night, but you want to be as strong as you can during that first night, so you can kind of gank more effectively and in turn get more levels. Night Stalker is very reliant on ganks on that first night. We see more bans now. We see a Templar Assassin ban from Na'Vi against Next. Empire did prove to be very efficient with the Templar Assassin. Again, that would be seen in the future. This, I believe, is Empire and Navi's first games in this Gosuleague series, in this season. But this is all, I'm casting all of this post Gosuleague, post finals and that. So I have, seen and cast future games. So Empire and Next have played each other, with Empire coming out on top. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched my previous videos, but if you're watching this, this Gosuleague round is already long over. So we did see effective Templar Assassin play from Empire, so that's a good ban from Na'Vi. They also banned an Enchantress, where Empire's banning Invoker and Queen of Pain, two very strong mid heroes, which Na'Vi could still possibly use, depending on their next couple of picks. We see a Lone Druid and a Shadow Shaman ban from Empire and Na'Vi, respectively. So, Empire, they could use their tri-lane cap, I guess, let's say, for Wisp and Chaos Knight. We're going to have Darkseer as a long lane solo hero, and we're going to have Chaos Knight and Wisp, possibly, very likely, teaming up with one other hero to kind of protect Wisp and protect Chaos Knight to a lesser extent, because Wisp is very fragile. Wisp is a very fragile hero. We see a Magnetar. And he's going to be a very strong teamfight hero. We see an Undying. Undying is another hero we have seen a lot of lately. Along with guys like Jakiro and Sven. Keeper of the Light now picked up. Coddle picked up. He's going to be teamed up with Chaos Knight and Wisp. And, thematically, in terms of Dota lore, that actually is kind of fun, because Chaos Knight sort of represents Chaos. Keeper of the Light represents Order. Chaos, Keeper. They kind of oppose each other. And Wisp fits in there somewhere as well. So they have some fun lines, some fun dialogue lines between them. And, that's kind of a joy. Valve did a great job picking up lore in Dota and adding a lot of personality to all of the heroes, not only visually, but along with voice samples and the way they react to other heroes. So Keeper, Chaos, and Wisp all kind of work well together in terms of lore. Or, well, I guess they don't work well together in terms of lore, and that's why it's fun. We see a Pugna pickup. Pugna, not a hero you see too often, but taking a look at Empire's lineup, a lot of heroes who are going to cast a lot of spells that cost a lot of mana. So Pugna's Nether Ward, excuse me, is very effective against a lot of these heroes. You drop that against a Keeper, you drop that against a Chaos Knight, and even someone like a Darkseer, and they're going to take a lot of damage in return, thanks to Pugna's Nether Ward, which is going to be played by Dendi, I see. So Dendi is going to be playing the Pugna. Pugna is a strong mid-hero as well. He has good presence in the lane, at the very least. So, introducing the heroes here, and the players playing them. We have Light of Heaven playing the Undying. We've got Dendi, as I mentioned before, playing the Pugna. We have Havos playing Night Stalker. Puppy on the Chen, and Arzart playing Jakiro. twin-headed dragon. We have Scandal for Empire playing Magnetar. We have SS on the Darkseer. We have Funnick playing Wisp. And we have Blow Your Brain over on the Chaos Knight, leaving Go Black to play Keeper of the Light. And it looks like we might be having a little bit of a skirmish down here. Both teams heading to the bottom lane with all 5 before the clock starts. And they might just meet up with one another and have a bit of a throwdown. We'll see how that turns out. Right now, I think early game, I'm going to have to give the advantage, just looking at it, probably to Empire. Chen needs a creep to be effective. And someone like Night Stalker needs levels and especially wants it to be Night. Whereas most heroes on Empire are pretty strong. We see actually Magnetar getting beat up and so is Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight might go down. I think Chaos Knight is. Yes, Jacaro picking up that first blood and Wisp is also going to get killed. I take back everything I just said. And it was actually Na'Vi picking up 2 kills, almost 3. Magnus barely getting out of there in time. Even though I do believe that Empire has the stronger early game, Na'Vi proves to be very capable with their heroes and outplays Empire on that one. And oh man, Keeper of the Light is still in position here to get beat up a little bit. He gets an Icy Path hit on him, but Undying is going to back away. So Keeper takes a little bit of damage. He gets beat up just a tad. And Jackaro's a little low on mana, but hey, he got a kill. He might have even gotten 2. It looks like actually Undying picked up the second one. Undying picked up the kill on Wisp, whereas Jackaro picked up the kill on Chaos Knight. So Wisp and Chaos Knight starting at a little bit of a deficit in terms of gold and giving a bit of an experience advantage to a few heroes on Na'Vi. Actually, all of them are going to be getting the experience advantage. And Wisp is hiding here. Wisp is going to get caught by Jacaro, though. Let's see if Jacaro is going to maybe stick around and try to fight Wisp, or no, Wisp is going to tether to Chaos Knight. Over in middle now here, we're going to have Magnetar going to mid against Dendi as the Pugna. Pugna is going to probably have a bit of a field day with Scandal, though. You know, he's gonna normally Magnus is a shockwave spammer. He's gonna just spam that cheap spell and blast everyone in his path for high damage. However, once Na'Vi, once Dendi on Na'Vi picks up his Nether Ward, it is going to be rough times for Magnetar. He's going to have to be careful with his casting because he's going to be taking a pretty beefy amount of damage. He'll be taking equal to the damage. So that's 90 damage every cast. And Jacaro is actually in trouble here. We're going to see a Keeper of the Light blast Illuminate, killing Jacaro. Man, Jacaro got slightly out of position there, and Jacaro has very low movement speed to begin with. So he ended up getting slapped around and eventually hit with an Illuminate, chased it down by Wisp and Keeper of the Light. That was some good play there by Empire. So we have Light of Heaven on the Undying and Arzart on the Jacaro on bottom. They're going to be dual laning against Wisp, Keeper of the Light, and Chaos Knight. That might be a bit of a tricky lane for them because they have the they have one stun. They have that nice Jacaro Icy Path, but the Empire tri-lane is going to have 2 solid stuns from Chaos Knight and Wisp's Tether. And then combine that, if they can lock down a hero for a good, 3 seconds, that can give some good Illuminate charge time to Keeper of the Light, who is going to blast everyone in his path for a very large amount of damage. Jacaro picking up an invisibility rune. Let's see if he maybe goes and tries to surprise Magnetar in middle. No, it looks like he's going to go try to surprise the tri-lane on bot. Light of Heaven's going to be getting the go-ahead. Oh no, there's the Reality Rift from Chaos Knight and a stun from Wisp. Nice tether. There goes the Tombstone from Undying. That's going to help defend that little push while he salves up, and Jacaro, the invisible twin-headed dragon, is going to fly in here and maybe try to do something.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
But he's not quite able to. Undying got hit there and wasn't able to stay in position long enough to turn that around. They probably would have liked to take a Wisp, but that wasn't going to happen. Nightstalker getting harassed a pretty good amount up top by the Ion Shell from Darkseer. Darkseer's Ion Shell does incredible amounts of damage, and as someone like Nightstalker, who is a melee hero, is going to have a hard time getting a lot of farm over here on this top lane. Right now he is sitting at 12 compared to the 20 on Darkseer. Though Chen, Puppy, and his Centaur Khan sitting there, so they might be looking for a bit of a surprise for the Darkseer, and I don't know if Darkseer is going to see it coming or if Darkseer is going to be anticipating something, but if he's smart, he would be. He would be always considering that Chen could be coming out of the jungle at any second, and a slow from Night Stalker signifies that a gank is on its way. Oh no, the Centaur misses his stun, and it ends up not mattering. It ends up not mattering. That strong nuke, that 255 damage nuke from Void. Incredibly strong. Night Stalker, despite being a strength hero, is actually pretty spell dependent until he can get some items and some levels in that Hunter in the Night. Magnetar very low HP right now. He's getting beat up from Pugna. Pugna with that Nether Blast, Ethereal, I think this is called Decryptify, but the combination there between the two is pretty strong. So Magnus needs refills on the bottle because he is not getting rune control away from Pugna. He has not had much luck with that. There are currently no wards on these runes. I'm sorry, there is one. There is one from Empire. Empire does have a ward on the bottom to check that rune. So hopefully Magnetar will be able to take advantage of that and get some ward control, some rune control. Right now, the runes are down. They will be up again in about 1 minute and 20 seconds. So if we take a look at last hits real quick right now, we have Chaos Knight pretty close to the top. He's only one off of Pugna, who has 28 versus 27 on Chaos Knight. We have Darkseer just below that, picking up a lot of kills with Ion Shell. And Darkseer trying to stop the pull, but hey, there are two heroes here. There's a Jacaro, and of course there's Chen, so he's going to have a hard time denying any kind of pulling. He doesn't want to mess with that. So Dendi not skilling Nether Ward, which is standard to not skill that early because it's not as effective early on as your Nether Blast and Decryptify. But I was still maybe expecting a level of it just to discourage Magnetar from casting spells, maybe, deal a little chip damage to him, because most of his last hits are going to have to be coming from that. Oh no, but Darkseer sneaking around because there are no wards on top from Na'Vi, so Darkseer chases down Dendi, but does not quite get him. Here comes a Decryptify, here comes another Blast. Gonna drop him to 280 HP. He did get a little salve off, but Undying coming in from the bottom, trying to do something on the Darkseer, but not able to. Darkseer surging away, so hard to catch, even with something like Tombstone. Those zombies slowing you down, and Light of Heaven not picking up any levels in Decay, only picking up a level of Soul Rip and then going right for the Tombstone. Decay is very strong, especially early game. And especially against a tri-lane, which is what he was going against. So he could have been pulling in 12 strength with every swing, theoretically. Now he picks up a level of it. But pulling in 12 strength gives him a huge HP boost, takes away a lot of HP from the opposition. The opposition that has two very squishy intelligence heroes, and gives him a good damage buff in addition to. So I would have maybe liked to have seen a level of Decay earlier, but, who am I to criticize Light of Heaven? I am nobody, so let him do as he wishes. And we have a pause right now from Havost. No one is disconnected, but let's see, that's cool. They still have Team Pennant. I didn't realize these Team Pennants still worked. Well, that's fun. That's fun. Team Pennants. Well, anyway, why don't we take a look right now at items while the game's paused. We'll take a look at everything. We'll take a look at graphs. We'll take a look at items. The Dire team, Na'Vi, is ahead in terms of experience by about 1,500 experience. Not a huge amount, but something. I think that mostly came from that opening salvo. So we also have Na'Vi ahead in terms of gold. They're at 750 gold advantage. And as far as items go, we are currently looking at not too much. We have 2 bottles on the Dire team, one on Night Stalker, one on Pugna, and an urn up as well on Havost. So he has that urn is very nice on Night Stalker because he's a very kill dependent, gank dependent hero. So he should be getting a lot of charges in that urn, and he can use it to finish off fleeing heroes, deal some damage. Or heal up himself after a gank, so we can move on to another one. Darkseer has a Soul Ring. Nothing too interesting right now. Of course, it is only 7.5 minutes into the game, so we shouldn't be seeing anything too fancy at the moment. No mechanisms, no Force Staffs. Nothing too cool quite yet, but if this game goes long enough, I'm sure we'll see some fun stuff. Looks like we have a bit of a grouping in center between Pugna, Undying, and then Chen circling around with his Satyr and his Ursul Warrior. No, Chen is going to head back top, but Keeper of the Light is going to hang out in mid for just a moment, because I believe he was expecting a try-push, perhaps, into the center, but Na'Vi decides not to do it. We have some more pulling here. So Night Stalker was having trouble early. He still is having a little bit of trouble. He's only at 45 last hits, which I say only 45. It's only 8.5 minutes into the game. 45 is pretty good, and it's the effective pulling from Jacaro and kind of the fear of Chen to kind of stop Darkseer from doing anything about the pull. He's not really quite able to, because he knows Chen is in the jungle and able to step in and interfere at any moment. Undying appears to have taken over mid, and we've got Magnetar taking a look in the jungle, trying to see what's up, see what's going on with Chen, who's doing what up there, because Pugna, as well as missing Pugna, just picked up, looks like some wards. So, Magnetar, though, not able to do it, scared away by the Undying.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That Unholy Aura from the Satyr giving a bit of health regen, and Puppy's minions are hurting right now. The Satyr and the Ursa Warrior are hurting from that Keeper of the Light and Magnetar AoE damage. This could be a dead Satyr. No, Satyr barely escapes. We might have to see a heal from Chen just to keep his minions alive. Keeper of the Light trying to chase him down, and there it is. That was a pretty nice heal. Very nice timing, and here comes a lifesteal from Pugna. The range on that, man, that got a huge range buff. Kind of crazy, hitting him from basically where his ward is all the way to his death. For a pretty huge lifesteal, pretty huge amount of damage. Pugna picking up the kill. So excellent play there from Na'Vi. That was a beautiful heal by Puppy. That was wonderful. Just as Keeper of the Light's missile, his attack, his right click, was flying at the Satyr. One hit would have killed him. Puppy lands that heal, heals up his minions to their fullest, and Keeper of the Light overextended. So there's a charge away from the fight, but I think that's going to be a dead Magnetar no matter what. Magnetar does drop. Wisp teleporting in with Chaos Knight. Chaos Knight taking a few swings onto Puppy. Chen might just go down. Chen does not quite go down before Chaos Knight does. I'm sorry, before Magnus does. Chen does drop thanks to Wisp. Pugna finishing off Chaos Knight. So Na'Vi up 2 kills, 2-1, and they're actually going to go up 3. Unless, that was a nice surge, a beautiful surge. I don't know if he's going to survive this. It's going to be very close. He's going to have 20 HP, 6 HP. That is going to be a dead Keeper of the Light. Night Stalker and his cohorts finishing off Keeper of the Light as he flees. Now, though, Night Stalker is going to be the one fleeing from Darkseer. He does not want to mess around with that Ion Shell anymore. He realizes the power of it. He's been playing against it all game, top lane, and he's been having a bad time. Well, that's not true. He's actually been having a very good time. He's been having an excellent lane, but early on, it was a little bit rough against Darkseer, as it always is. But some effective play in the shadows, let's say, in the jungle, kept Darkseer out of Night Stalker's business. The Pugna moving toward the bottom here, and clearing out this lane. He wants to push it back a little bit. Pugna and the rest of Na'Vi don't want to sit on their hands, rest on their laurels. They push it effectively to this tower, but they have to make sure their other lanes are cleared up and where they want them to be too. Because if they're not, then Empire can sneak back. Even though Na'Vi has advantage in mid, they might not get advantage in every lane if they don't pay attention to it. That's basic stuff though. And you know, I just say it, playing in pub games, you don't see that a lot, so it's pretty good to see it here. It's pretty good to see it in any program.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So Wisp tethering to Chaos Knight, Magnetar, and Wisp going in for a kill. Chaos Knight getting a bunch of buffs, not only from Wisp but from Magnetar as well, giving him that empower, base damage increase, and a cleave. But you know what? Wisp and Chaos Knight might be out of position because they have a whole host of angry Dire players chasing them down. And this could end up real bad unless Wisp can get close and teleport out, but he is way out of position. Wisp is just completely split up, so is Chaos Knight. Wisp is going to get seen by Night Stalker. There he is seen, and he gets smacked around a little bit. Night Stalker silences him so he cannot teleport out, and that is going to be a dead Wisp. And Chaos Knight, no, Chaos Knight did make it out. Chaos Knight did escape. He went to the top lane to get that top tower, but Na'Vi is going to take down the bottom tower in turn. There's tons of damage coming from Chen's minions, from Night Stalker, and from Dendi and his Pugna Netherblast. But in turn, Empire pushing the top tower down, taking it, and the middle tower as well, very hurt. A Macropyre doing a lot of damage to Magnetar. Magnetar pushing Chen and Jakiro down. Pugna kills Keeper of the Light, and Magnetar is going to be forced back. Magnetar dodging that Icy Blast, and Wisp tethering onto Magnetar. The Empire might have to try to turn around and do something here. Jakiro does drop, so let's see if Pugna's going to go down as well. He does. Wisp landing a few spirits onto Pugna, and Pugna drops. A beautiful little tombstone. Not really enough though to turn away Undying's death. And Night Stalker running in here, trying to do something to Magnetar, not quite able to. Chen goes down as well, so Magnus is going to back away. He's going to run with his tail between his legs, but Na'Vi's going to lose 4, I think. Night Stalker getting beat up now from Wisp, from Chaos Knight, from Darkseer, and that is going to be a dead Night Stalker. Na'Vi down 4 in that fight. In that fight that I think they were hoping to push down further into the middle. They actually ended up losing their middle tower and 4 heroes in turn. So Na'Vi, they are still in the lead, but they're gonna have to play a little harder, I think, to turn Empire around. Blow Your Brain, an excellent Chaos Knight, and showing the strength of his team. So if we look here, if we're looking at net worth, we've got 6,100 and 5,600 for Chaos Knight and Darkseer respectively. And Empire definitely in the lead here. Great farming from Chaos Knight and good farming from Darkseer as well. Chaos Knight really wants to kill Chen's little Ogre Mauler. He's not going to though. He needed one more swing, and I guess he chose not to do it. He chose, I guess, just to remind Chen that he's nearby. Didn't really want to kill him though. I'm not sure, but you know what? Maybe he was afraid of the rest of Dendi and or rather the rest of Na'Vi sitting up top, Dendi and Co. So Na'Vi slowly losing their lead, but they are not out of it yet. Of course, they are one of the top tier teams in the world. So they until they lose a few massive team fights, they are not going to be out of this game. They're just going to have to probably defend their towers a little harder because they've lost 3 in the last couple of minutes. Whereas they have taken, I believe, 2 in the last few minutes. 2 total, probably just 1 in the last few minutes, which would be this bottom tower. This middle one fell a little while ago. We have a Wisp teleporting up top. Oh no, this could be bad for Jakiro and Pugna. It's just going to be bad for Jakiro. I think Jakiro getting Wisp tethered and Chaos bolted. And now, oh no, Night Stalker kind of getting trapped here. Dendi getting smashed up. Havost is going to get smashed up as well from Blow Your Brain. Blow Your Brain is going to swing. And I think Night Stalker might go down. Oh, a beautiful vacuum. Wonderful vacuum. Taking out Night Stalker. Pulling in Undying and Chen. Chen is going to go down as well. I think, yes, Darkseer finishing off Chen with his Ion Shell. Undying trying to do something, but he runs just into that Illuminate and into that just Empire army. And Empire going 5-0 on that hit. Man, Empire really making a statement here. They end up taking a pretty decent lead now against Na'Vi. That Chaos Knight is very farmed up. Chaos Knight is going to have to start being just an immediate ban against Empire just because of the strength of this, or perhaps a Wisp ban, a Wisp or a Chaos Knight ban. I think would throw a wrench into this little plan, but the Wisp Chaos Knight really teams so well with so many heroes. We're seeing it teaming here with Keeper of the Light. We're seeing it with Darkseer as well. It works incredibly well with a guy like Sven. It works well with a Disruptor even. I think would be a fantastic pull, but it's just such a good combo and such like a guaranteed combo. There's no guesswork involved. There's no really room for error in that. The Reality Rift will give you a tether stun, and then all you really need is any level of stun from the Chaos Knight, because that tether will stun you for 1.25 seconds, 1.25 seconds, and even if Chaos only gets a 2-second stun, that's a 3.25 second stun. Guaranteed. And here we're going to see it. There's that stun. He lands at 3, so that was a 4.25 second stun on Chen. Chen just getting slaughtered. That tombstone from Undying goes down as well. Puppy trying to do something with the Ursa Warrior. Undying is going to be running away. Light of Heaven getting just slaughtered by Darkseer and Chaos Knight. Magnetar picking up that last kill. So that's 2 heroes down now for Na'Vi. They're going to lose this top tower. I don't know what happened to Na'Vi, but at some point in the last 5 minutes, their game plan has slipped because Empire is they're firing on all cylinders right now. With Na'Vi down the Undying, the Tombstone can defend very effectively, but even with the Undying up, I don't know that they can save this tower. And Wisp is teleporting Chaos Knight to the bottom. Oh no, they saw Dendi out of position there. They're going to try to stun him, and they do just before the teleport goes off. Dendi gets caught, and back comes Chaos Knight and Wisp right back into this top fight. So it's going to be 5v4 here. And oh man, there's the Darkseer Magnetor combo, and Na'Vi GG's out. Puppy calling the GG. Wow, such good combos from Empire. Empire SS is unstoppable. That is accurate. Empire is unstoppable in this game. They had a rough beginning, but once Wisp and Chaos Knight started comboing well together, you had Magnetar and Darkseer comboing well, as we saw in that last little team fight right there. A vacuum and a reverse polarity. You combo that with almost, like, I would say anything on Empire's team. You combo that with anything, and it is just it's crazy. It's ridiculous how much damage is done to every single hero on the enemy team. So Empire taking it at 19 minutes after having a rough early game too. After having a pretty, I wouldn't say decisively losing early game, but Na'Vi definitely took the early game. They were playing better. They were playing a little stronger. But once Empire started to, I don't know if they were communicating better, if maybe they had some issues coordinating. But once those issues were gone, if they were there to begin with, Empire just took it. So Empire, very effective play here. I'm anxious to jump into game number 2. So yeah, well, we're going to be jumping into game number 2 in just a little while. So, you know, check out the channel. You are on it right now. YouTube.com/YouTube/realpigmasks. It's me, Pigmask. So, yeah, have a good one.